Supply Chain Moves, the podcast where we break down the intricacies of supply chain management and share actionable insights to help you stay ahead of the game. I'm your host, Lara, and today we have a special episode dedicated to preparing for a visit to China, a critical hub for global supply chains. Whether you're sourcing new vendors or managing existing partnerships, doing audit, or negotiations in person, a China visit requires thoughtful preparation and strategy. I'm excited to be joined by two experienced supply chain practitioners who will be heading to China with me to share their insights and advice. Liza, as you've seen in the previous episode, recorded actually in China. We've done a long recording in our robes when we were in China last April, May. Is here with us again because we're doing our trip number two this autumn. And now is together we're traveling with April, an expert working for 7 years as a supply chain manager, and yeah, she will be joining us this autumn trip. Together, we'll guide you through the must-dos before you embark on traveling, processing your visas, booking your tickets. And we want to make sure that we can give you the best practices, the learnings that Liza and I had last trip, and at the same time, um, we applied that learnings to our preparation this travel so that we can ensure that we are maximizing whatever cost that we're going to spend for our China visit part two. Right. Before we dive in with my questions, Liza and April, could you just briefly introduce yourselves and share your background in supply chain, particularly your experience with international vendor visits, especially in China?
Hi, I'm Liza. I'm the CEO of Move Supply Chain. I've been with, well, Move is almost a year now, but I'm a supply chain practitioner since I graduated college. And I think that's more than 15 years now. So just do the math. But in terms of my experience visiting clients in China, that was our first. Yeah, I was with Lara last April. We visited different areas of China, specifically their plants and offices. So how would I explain this part? It's really different when you are there in the ground, knowing how the actual um facility works. So it's a totally different ball game when you see how your products is being made. There will be so much opportunity for learnings, negotiations, and potential savings. So that's what I am really excited, especially for our second leg, because it's another um great impact of on savings and cost optimization for our clients. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think we are going to share the link of the previous podcast that we've
Yeah.
recorded. In that recording, Liza, you've mentioned your experience as well doing the visits out international visits
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
US, in Brazil, even
Yeah,
like 10 to 15 years ago.
true. So I mentioned that before. So the China trip was like a refresher for me because I've done that already when I think back in 2013, 14, I visited United States and Brazil for a different company. But yeah, it's a similar experience, but it's now that we're servicing DTC and non-food, it's a different learning experience, and I'm excited for this upcoming trip because it's not gonna be just the two of us, Lara. That's one of our learnings from
Yes,
the last
yes.
visit, that oh my goodness, you have to have a team with us. It's just we didn't
Don't
weren't
tell
able.
them what
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
Don't tell them how busy
Yes.
you were because
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
still
But
time to back out.
yes, but yes, it's gonna be so fun. because Lara and I were we had so much fun, just the two of us. What more? It's gonna be the whole like almost like half of the Move supply chain team will be going. So yeah.
Yeah. April, I believe this is your first time in China, but not a first time international traveler. Can you share more about your supply chain experience and probably if any experience in plant visit in general?
Yeah. Yeah. So, hi, I'm April. So, yes, it's my first time in China. But yeah, I travel, but I love traveling to outside the Philippines. So, I have a 7 years experience. I am the supply chain manager for this, which is particularly with international clients within e-commerce side, but a total of 10 years, including my on-site. So I specialize in managing the entire supply chain process from supplier and product sourcing to inventory management. So I also have experience in a new business development where I help companies build operation from ground up, which is I focus on the process for all the sourcing of new products. So in China, I think this is my first time, so I'll be um maybe I'll be focused on visiting how supplier factories wherein I will observe the production process. Yeah, so that's my I think that's what I'm excited about for
Yes.
China.
For sure. If you love traveling and this is like I know this is work, but at the same time meeting other people, meeting the vendors that you've spoken to for the past months and
Yeah.
communicating with them, developing product. It's a very for Liza and I, we both agree that it's very fulfilling to talk to see them in person. It's like
Yes.
meeting a friend that you've known for a very long time, but actually first time meeting in person.
Yeah.
We're very excited.
Especially when I if I will be meeting our one of our clients during the plant visit. So yeah, that is one of the most
Exciting part.
exciting there, yeah.
Okay, so my next question is and probably the question of our listeners is why visit China, and we want to give them two different perspective here. One perspective of Liza doing international vendor visits since more than 10 years now and doing it again now and for April, the perspective of handling DTC, heavily DTC clients, and why this is important with them. And then the reason why I wanted to give two perspectives is because Liza, in our work before, vendor visit is non-negotiable. It's a requirement. We don't add them or we don't send our PO if we don't have the audit, the vendor visit, the meetings. But now it's like we can order right away. We can start our business right away even without the visit. So that's the two perspective that I would like to share. So if you can share, Liza, why visit China?
Actually, yeah, because it's since the pandemic, right? Um, it's like I think that's where when the norm of doing everything online started. So I understand most of the clients or the DTC you know owners, business owners, um just they just let it go. Like I can still manage my business or the operations of of the company without seeing the actual vendors, right? So I think that's one of the main, like that's when it started. But I see when we started doing supply chain, Lara, back in 2020, it was a little difficult because we are used to doing the actual visit and actual work on the ground. And it's like there's really what they call that adjustment in terms of how we communicate. It's like more effort, more detailed, um clearer conversation or communication. There's a lot more effort comparing to having, you can just go straight to the plant and talk, or office, and talk to the vendors. So I think this also applies and up to now. I can still attest that it's necessary, even if it's not like the normal structure
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
We really need to see what's happening there. To have it, to see it firsthand will you will have a different perspective. One example is there's this client that we're handling that's been with this vendor in China for the longest time. Like they have a good relationship. And we don't understand why, for example, this product, they cannot do it, right? They cannot they cannot pass the quality that the client wants. And when the time that we saw the actual operation, we and they explained again because they keep on explaining, but when we saw the actual production line, that's why we understood that okay, they're really not capable of doing this. It's really hard to do this small product with this kind of details, and that's how we explain to the client. So there's really a gap, I can say, that we can bridge once we go to the actual plant and visit the vendor. So it's the gap for me.
Yeah, you've shared a very important point, Liza. We're in before it's like monthly you're in with your vendors,
Yes.
or every production you're with your vendors. I don't think
Your
it's
QA
yes.
yourself.
Doing QA, even sometimes I even collect the package myself, the delivery, and I'll deliver it in our warehouse. That's how close I work with our vendors before. But I think we are getting we want to still apply visiting the vendors, but not as much because we were given a lot of improvements right now, like AI tools,
Yes.
communication tools, and other support that can lessen the
Yeah.
requirement to visit and travel. But at least there's like at least visit once a year, twice a year, and not as much as monthly. So it's a
Correct.
less requirement. And for you, April, since you've been really handling DTC clients right now, why do you think visiting China is important for the clients that you're handling?
For me, I think China is a country renowned for its remarkable growth and innovation. So we know that China right now is a global leader. So it's an opportunity for us to check the manufacturing plants, which have an invaluable insights to us for their technologies, their operation, which is made how China as a global leader, right? So for me, this visit for China manufacturing is a opportunity for us to explore the partnership with our suppliers, and also deepen our cooperation and learn as well for China culture and their industrial expertise for me. Yeah.
And I think what's important to note here for our listeners is it's not just about visiting your vendors at this point. It's also maximizing that there's Canton Fair. So we're scheduling our vendor visits during the fair so that we can maximize our travel. If there's a Canton Fair schedule, which is three phases, phase one starts October 15, and then phase two, phase three, which ends November 4. In between those phases, we will be traveling to visit our vendors. So it's like dedicating time in Canton Fair, and then in between the gaps, you'll be visiting your vendors, and that way you could maximize the cost and the effort that you're putting for this travel. Okay. My next question is a little bit for me, I'm very curious to hear, coming from someone that hasn't been to China yet, and coming from Glyza who has been there, because we've seen we have the experience before. So the question is, what are the top three things supply chain, or what are the top three things that you April and Glyza should prepare before heading to China? What are the specific documents, information, logistics, and any essential, whatever is the top three for you? And I wanted to hear April first because she hasn't done it yet. And then after that, we want to hear yours, Glyza.
I think my top three, if first is my passport. And yeah, of course. My invitation, and yeah, my Canton Fair invitation. I think that is so important. Number two, I think it's my OOTD. So I think I asked this to my guys. So what is if there would be uh something we have to
I
prepare.
knew
So
it. I knew it. That's
yeah,
why
so
I asked you
I
first.
prepared my OOTD already, and I think it's my third is my facial with my eyelashes. That is an honest answer, actually. Yeah,
Actually, that's a good
especially
answer. You have to prepare yourself, like your physical
yes,
self.
yes, and my English for Chinese.
Yes, Sarita, it's the English that we're not practicing so much, but it's a different kind of English that we need to bring in there.
Yeah.
And that's a very funny answer, April, because when we were doing our first time, it's really part of your preparation. Especially the OOTD is going to be really helpful since we'll be walking a lot. So if Glyza had this mistake last time that she she brought her very expensive shoes that is not comfortable. So in the middle of Canton Fair midday, we're looking for sandals
Sleeper.
or sleepers for
Even
her.
I wanted to go barefoot. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just want that's a good point. OOTD is good, but make sure it's comfortable.
Yeah.
That's number one. Actually, that's my first answer. Comfortable clothing, especially for plant visits and Canton Fair. It's okay if you want to have your OOTD for the gram, and we'll have merch by the way. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. But um, that's number one. I think that's really a no-brainer, supposedly, to wear comfortable clothes and shoes. But I was really like feeling the first time doing the Canton Fair. So I feel like I wanna look good, but I didn't feel good because of my sleep, because of my shoes. So yeah. Second thing would be the internet connection. I don't know, it's gonna be Wi-Fi, whatever you can bring. In China it's gonna be different in terms of the connection. There are limitation in terms of the applications to that they allow. So I already called my my provider. I think we've discussed this already, April, but yeah, there's also we can prepare for that prior to going to China. So yeah, I think Lara and I had an issue before. It's like only I think Lara was able to connect, but I my line was different. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the second. The third, what's my third? To bring?
Your eyelashes extension.
I feel like if it's gonna be if
As
it's
if it
one of
will
an
work.
answer,
As if it will work with your vendors when you're doing your beautiful eyes. Is that
yeah,
one of your tactics in negotiation?
I feel like to prepare the schedule of the route because of course this is one of our learnings, Lara and I, when we just the two of us, imagine, and up to the last minute we're trying to tweak some of the schedule that's already there, and then it's gonna be, don't expect any, it's not gonna be 100% for sure. There will be changes. We're expect how do I say that? It's not gonna be perfect. Okay, the itinerary will never be perfect. I hope, but yeah, it's not gonna be. So there will be changes. So expect, just be open to your mindset, I think. Um just enjoy, and yeah, make sure make sure you still have time to rest. Because that's what our learnings. Even Sundays, we were in plant visits and Canton Fair. So yeah, prepare yourself physically
And
and
mentally.
because you're gonna be talking to different, you know, the energy that you're gonna bring out there is a little different. I feel like us working online versus talking, face to face and having negotiations and learning the actual processes there, it's a totally different game. The energy that's you need to give is more. I mean, it's gonna be more than what you're usually giving. So yeah.
Yeah, I would like to add the more boring stuff that you need to bring. First is for me, bring your extrovert self.
That's it. The
Leave your
energy,
introvert self. Like,
yes, the energy that okay.
and
I don't mean to be like we don't want to talk to them. It's just that of course you have your limits, right?
yeah.
In a day. Like talking to three or four might not be the optimal like the number, but maybe maximum of two per day may be
Yeah.
the best.
And for me it's like, Liza, you've mentioned this, but um since we had the experience of negotiation, I think we're better prepared in terms of information that we need to bring before the visit. And that's the greatest learnings that we have. Before we I think we had like 1 week of preparation before going there, and now we have months. Actually, we prepared very early, visas are early, tickets are early, everything is early, and we have like a month of pre-sourcing, which I think is very, very helpful for a lot of our clients. Before, we started sourcing nearing the trip, but now we can visit a lot of vendors because we were able to shortlist. We don't want to waste time visiting vendors that we don't think will fit our clients' needs. So right now it's going to be maximized, save time, and I hope that our schedule will allow us to do some fun things in China, because as you've mentioned last time, it's nonstop client visit, and Canton Fair, even Sundays. So I believe this is happier. I'm not saying I'm not happy with you last time, guys. But it's like 7 or 8 team members flying to China right now, and it's gonna be super fun.
Yeah. Sorry. I feel like it's gonna be super fun because we already planned out like a schedule wherein the team will be going out for even
Yes.
just one day of hanging out together. So it's gonna be so fun. I feel like that's what I'm most excited about.
Yes. Yes. And seeing them in first time. We've
Oh
been
yeah.
with April, with Mary, with a
Yes.
lot of members, but this is the first time that we'll be seeing them in person. So very excited for that.
Yes.
Right. On a more serious note, we know that when planning to meet with vendors, what strategies or tools do you want to use to maximize the time spent during the visit? And how can someone optimize vendor meetings in China? So, for example, we already have like, at least for us three, we already have like 4 vendors to visit from October 13, 14,
14,
15, 16,
yes, 14.
17. So from October 14 to 17, we already have a vendor to visit. We know who will be this, we know the schedule. So for you, Glyza, what strategies or tools do you want to use to maximize the visit?
For the strategy, I know we have planned out, like we have the list of the things that we need to tackle, like what are the pain points of our clients, and which area of like the whole supply chain, or even just specifically the product, or like what's the problem with the product, or what's the what's not really just challenge that they're encountering right now. So for example, like negotiation with lead times or payment terms, we already know prior to going there, and we already have all the details that we need. Say to negotiate. So I think for me, it's just matter of documenting everything. You have a sheet wherein we will put everything there per client, per vendor, and it's gonna be a very uh organized, how do I say that, scheduling of meetings. So yeah, I think we have like a day per client, and it's gonna be maximized in a way that we have a time to visit the whole production. At the same time, we'll be having a sit down meeting with them to discuss like after the visit. That's usually our strategy. End of day, we'll have a summary of everything, and debrief the team on what's gonna be our next step. So that's basically the strategy. For the tools, I don't have like a specific tool that we use, but we can. I'm a very sheety sheet sheety um person, so a very nice and clean um sheet for this trip, like what we did also last year, wherein everything will be dumped in there. Is gonna be, I think, again, a strategy that we'll be doing. So yeah, I think that's for the visit, for the plan. But for sourcing, it's gonna be a totally different.
Maybe April can answer for sourcing. Like
Yeah, for sourcing.
if we are in Canton Fair,
So this
what
is
what strategy can we do? Because we've tried to we've tried Glyza last time to make it as organized as possible, but it's crazy out there. It's too big. It's too
yeah.
many business cards. It's too many vendors. So what do you think could help you, April, in organizing contacts, vendors you meet in Canton Fair?
Yeah, so as guys has said, we have already a schedule. So we have a schedule day per day, and I also prepared a spreadsheet wherein we contacted already the potential suppliers if they are in Canton Fair. We asked them already for their availability or presence in the Canton Fair and what booth number, so that we could have the schedule already where to go, since Canton Fair is a big event and there's a lot of suppliers there to see. So I think that's our strategy, so that we could look for the supplier easily, and we could talk to them as much as possible with our limited time.
Yeah. Last time, Glyza and I, we didn't have a business card. So we are showing our QR code. So this time, of course, the team has their business card and we added the QR code. I think that's very helpful that they just have to scan and then um they can add us in WeChat or WhatsApp. And a lot of I still feel that a lot of the vendors in Canton Fair are using WeChat and they don't have WhatsApp, because for WhatsApp they require a VPN. So better be prepared with your QR code for WeChat. If there's no WeChat, then second option is WhatsApp. It's very important. So cultural awareness is something that I'd like to discuss next. We know that understanding business culture is key when working internationally. And I think in Move Supply Chain, this is one of our value propositions because we are Asians, we understand the culture. There are so many Chinese here in the Philippines, business owners, and that's something that we can actually bridging the gap between the US, UK, Australian clients dealing with Chinese vendors. I think for us, we're saying that we, of course, we understand and we have the connection and we can improve the relationship. Could you share some of the important cultural practices that they should be aware of when working with Chinese vendors? Glyza, for you, did we experience something that last trip that made us change our strategy in terms of dealing with them in the cultural awareness side? I think I'm not sure if we mentioned this in the last episode of podcast when we were there, Glyza, but we've noticed that a lot of the business owners, they're not English speakers. So
True.
owner of the plants, which should be the number one goal for us to connect with is not speaking in English. So they have translators. They have their of course they have translators in their team, but that's something that we were not prepared of in terms of cultural awareness. For me, probably we can use app to translate. Like in Japan when we were there, it's like they're just picture and it's gonna be translated. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it's easier if we can translate English to Chinese, if that's even proper. That's something that I would like to explore when we're back. But for you, how what do you think is cultural awareness?
I feel like I'm not sure if that's cultural awareness. Basically, what I've experienced myself was my hand gestures. Like I feel like
Yes.
I was like I feel like it was it's a kind of rude gesture. I was trying to explain myself in a manner that I speak in English but with so much hand gestures as if they don't understand.
Yes.
So and then when they replied, "Oh, okay, they can speak English." So I was like preempting that they don't understand, but they do understand. So just try to speak.
Do you have a
Well,
business card?
really have a business card or like it was like it the whole Canton Fair. So the thought in my head was they don't know how to speak English. So I will need to do extra effort to make them understand.
Gestures, yes.
And
I
gestures.
remember calling you out because if
Yes.
when you're talking during vendor discussions, I have to watch you do your hand gestures.
It was really annoying if you're gonna be see if you've seen me. But I it was like how many days? Maybe one day, just one day.
Yeah, one day, yeah.
The first day and thank God I was able to I didn't realize it was just it came naturally. So I feel that's a thing that since I thought that they don't understand English, okay, so I need to do this like hand gestures. But no, there are other ways to do that. So if just speak straight English
Slowly.
slowly,
Basic and
the
slowly.
basic English without any extra movements or gestures. And of course the app, I think the app will be very helpful also.
How about you, April? Anything that you'd like to bring as a
I
cultural awareness?
I think I'm not sure, but I think my voice.
Mm,
So I think this is my problem. I really have a loud voice. For me,
oh,
for me it's
you'll fit
normal.
there. You'll
I
fit
for
there.
me For me, it's normal, but they said that I'm shouting or I'm bringing amplifier. So I have an issue here in Japan when I'm in Japan. So when I
Yes.
ride a train, so they're just whispering or said, but for me, I'm just talking natural, and they said I'm very noisy. So I think that's I'm not sure if what's the culture of
Oh,
Chinese there, but yeah, of course I will watch my voice for that, or you can just stop me in if if I'm speaking loudly.
Yeah, because they might think that you're angry or
Yes.
hating or something. Yeah. You're right about Japan. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely you have to lower your voice, or even I am not aware that my voice is loud or the way I talk is loud, but in Japan I'm still considered loud. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel that in China though, but yeah, we it's important that it's important to note, especially for other countries who will be visiting
I
China.
have I have one more which I don't know if it's part of the culture, but I think during meals, so when you dine out or they will serve food for sure. And I think it's a general rule that if they offer you something, you try to taste a bit, even if it's not like Lara, we have a different taste.
Or
Like Lara is very how do you say that word? Like you explore more
yeah,
on food, right? So me when I see that it's not really enticing or so I don't usually try, but
yeah,
so what
gem worm.
worms, yeah. So I try. It's really good actually. Just it's like it's just in your mind, but it tastes good. So I
Yeah.
feel like you can try. And there's so much tea.
I don't like tea.
So prepare to drink lots of tea and
Prepare to drink
water.
lots of tea. They don't have water, just teas.
Oh my
For,
God.
for our Chinese friends and the vendors that became friends already, yeah, it's normal for them to drink tea after and before meals, and we're looking for fruit
Milk
shakes.
tea.
Yeah.
How about milk tea?
And milk tea not so much, I think.
No,
Or
they don't have. They don't.
Just a
Maybe
green tea.
maybe because we didn't travel
in
somewhere.
other areas,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, areas, but Guangzhou is like Makati in the Philippines, or like or like New York in the US. It's the busy business part of the country. So it's all buildings, restaurants, but not much of we didn't explore shopping malls, so I'm not sure, but probably we have time this time.
Let's have time for
Yes.
Yeah.
For
We have day off.
for navigating Canton Fair, I think this question is for you, Liza. What's your advice for this, making sure that they're maximizing this massive event? Again, there are four huge buildings, and it's full. So how can attendees make the most out of it in terms of sourcing, building relationships, and staying organized? Do you want to share our tactic last time? Are we doing it again?
you should.
We
And
have
if
the cover, eye
yeah,
cover.
because attendance is really, if you don't have I mean, you have to set your intention for the day, like what you really want to. You have a schedule, right? So we did it per client per day. So depending on how many clients you have. So for that specific visit last April, I think maximum of 2 clients per day we did. So sometimes one, depends on how many items are we looking for. Since we are going, I'm gonna say already our strategy right now. So there's 3 phases of Canton Fair, and what we're trying to do right now, and it's already there. We have 3 groups of supply chain practitioners who will be attending the Canton Fair per phase. So that's our strategy. We make sure that that the team will be maximizing the Canton Fair visit. So each team is assigned to cater for a specific client or a specific product to source. I think that's one of, we haven't tried that, but I think that's the improvement that we are trying to add, because before it's only me and Lara for like 10 days, and we just covered, I'm not sure if we covered the phase 1 too, or we're on the latter part of the Canton Fair, so we just did like the last phase, but it's just the two of us, and we did how many clients. So right now, since we will be covering the whole October, we need bigger team. So 1 team per phase of the Canton Fair. So that's gonna be a strategy. And the same strategy, once the team is there, they will be doing the list of the clients per day, and then the booth numbers for those vendors that they've predetermined, and they're just gonna go around and focus on those booth numbers. And if there's more time, they will be doing like free sourcing, like whichever vendor that they see is like fitting for the client, they'll be sourcing there. So the focus is really the pre-work, which is determining the booth numbers, the vendors that's available in the Canton Fair, and the clients and products that they are scheduling per day. I think that's the strategy, still the best strategy for now.
And then the most important part, especially for me, as I get easily distracted with a lot of products, again, you see a full four huge buildings of products, and it's easy to get excited and visit different vendors and look at their products. It's making sure that you have the goal and schedule for that specific day and sticking to it, so that you don't waste time doing different type of products and then not getting what you needed during that schedule. So that's very that's something that I think we've done it last time, and we're continuously doing that technique right now. Okay. Any challenge that, again, for us, Liza, any challenge that we've experienced last time or pitfalls we've encountered during our visit? I think like for the question, how can a first-time visitors anticipate and navigate this challenge? I think the most important part for me is Google is not working.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that you still want to work when you get there. So make sure that you have an alternative way. The Outlook. Like for me,
Outlook, right.
I converted my Gmail to Outlook. That's very important. And then you have VPN. And then, as you've mentioned, Liza, you had a difficulty buying a data in China. And so you've spent a lot actually in your data. So we found Maya. That's the brand that they recommended. Maya is the brand that I used. However, Glyce's phone is not the
Yeah.
iPhone.
And there's the reason behind that, and I can explain it offline because I already
You
called
found
the
out. You found out.
yes. There's a
Okay.
reason. So it's really not gonna work like that. I feel like it's gonna happen again because of
So you
the
need a
line.
new phone.
I need an extra phone
Okay, just for the education of others, is that something that might
because of
happen?
my line. Because
Ah,
I just renewed my line and another 2-year contract, which is it's locked with the provider, and they're not allowing SIM or something from the
outside of their network, I think.
yes.
Yeah, that's the same issue with me
Yeah.
during my Japan.
So I can bring in an
I
extra
didn't.
device
Yeah.
to use for just logging in or connecting to the internet. So I'm looking for that. Another thing is you can there's a way of pocket Wi-Fi or something, but I think it's gonna be more expensive. Well, it's gonna be useful if you'll be traveling a lot this for the next months or so, but I'll still weigh which one's gonna be better. For your question of like the challenge that we had,
Pitfall.
I felt like because it's too tight, the schedule, that's one of the we were so tired. We were fulfilled, but we were so tired.
Yeah, you were sick.
So yeah, and yes, I was sick during the whole time. But I was like, I was not complaining because I know we really waited for that time. But I feel like there's more. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to um make sure that we have time to rest, not max still have time to sit down and debrief, because I think during the time when we get to the hotel, it's like, okay, let's sleep.
Yeah.
Or we have a call, like, we're still working for sure. So yes, the scheduling is gonna be better this time for sure.
I did not remember any huge pitfall or challenge that we've had over there.
Let me just add, Lara. So I feel like for some of our clients, right? Those who availed the Canton Fair, and some will also be joining us. So, and then they're like, I just want to go around and see what's there. We're really emphasizing the need to plan and schedule. So to maximize your trip, because that's the key. I know there's gonna be like a day, maybe a free day, that's okay. But if you have like a goal of, say, negotiation visits and saving project save cost savings project, you really have to plan and schedule your day. And yeah, I think that's the main takeaway of our visit from the last time. So
yeah, the next question is actually I can explain this post-visit action plan. Like if you're the owner traveling to China, or if you have a team member traveling to China, you want to make sure that the result of that visit is going to be cascaded properly to the team, marketing team, cross-functional team, the owners, to whomever you're reporting to. For us, we have clients that we work with. That's why if we after the visit we have a report. Like I can probably share a link of that report for the format so that you can use it. We've done that, Liza. Like we have to report what happened in China, the negotiations, what are the successful parts that we've done, what are the challenges that we've had, videos, photos, they should be part of that report. So if you have a team member going there, make sure that you are aligned with the expectations on the post visit action plan. And if you are going there yourself, make sure that you're also collecting information, data, pictures, photos, and information so that you can cascade that information to your team if you have other team members. And final tip, Glyza and April, what's one piece of advice you would like to give to anyone preparing for first China visit in terms of supply chain management?
Okay, you wanna go first, April?
For me, I think for me and sourcing part, I think the best tip I could give is to know the product you are sourcing. Deep dive the product so you are prepared already. You don't need to learn it or study it when you are in China. So at least when you're roaming around in Canton Fair, you already know what you're looking for, what is the specification. So that is very important for me to deep dive the product first or be prepared for the list that you are sourcing.
For me, it's okay to do it on your own. There's of course it's a different experience, but of course, if you have someone like a service team like us, move, it's gonna be easier for you because we already computed the cost actually. If you're from the United States and if you're gonna fly to China and spend this much, and you're gonna be your time and schedule will be affected. Of course, there's a Move supply chain team that can handle this service for you. So it's gonna be easier, and it's there's a lot of options we can do for 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 this kind of service. So it's really you can customize the packages for you. So what I'm trying to say is you can do it. There you can research online like the
Yeah.
do's and don'ts of China visit or Canton Fair. But if you can tap third party like us to do it, that's gonna be our experience, the actual experience, and our expertise in this service will be very valuable for sure. So I think that's my one is.
Yeah, it's actually both of this trip, Liza, we're doing both. We're representing brands that without the owners, and we're going to visit with the owners. So that's something that we're all very excited about, is that this is the first time that we'll be traveling with the owners, with the DTC owners. That's a support that we do. Like, you want to visit, we get it. You want to meet the vendors, it's very important. I highly encourage doing that. But again, if you're not in the supply chain management position or expertise, then it's hard to really negotiate if you're not aware of the things that you can negotiate. So partnering with supply chain experts can really help you bring down the cost, improve payment terms, work on like other negotiations and MOQ lead time. Definitely, with or without you, a support is going to be helpful. Right. So I think that's a lot for that's a lot that we've discussed today. We're actually having part two in China.
Yes.
So we're releasing two parts of this podcast. The first part is this. We're still here in the Philippines, and then you'll hear again from us in China, and we're together. Probably the same thing in the same thing that we did last time. That's a wrap of today's episode of Supply Chain Moves. I hope you found our discussion on preparing for a China visit insightful and packed with practical tips to help you get the most out of your trip. Super practical that even OOTDs has been mentioned. A big thank you to our guests for sharing their expertise and experiences. It's always great to hear from practitioners who've been in the trenches and know what it takes to succeed. Remember, the key to any successful visits is thorough preparation and having clear objectives in mind. So take these tips and apply them to make your next supply chain move a winning one. Thanks for tuning in. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share us with your network. We'll see you next time on Supply Chain Moves, where we will definitely be in China the next time. Thank you.